Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to BaseTradeTV. So there's a couple things to talk about before we get into the show today. First off, if it's not obvious from the overlay, this is actually going to be a solo cast today. I decided that there was a lot of man, my camera's like angled funny. Whatever. There's a lot of times where like I just blank out the other screen and everyone's like, when's Zombie Grub coming? Where's Maynard coming? Where's Wardy? So hopefully this is a little more obvious that it's a solo cast. Secondly, I have set up a chat thing. Now I don't know if this will get abused. I might get rid of this. I just thought it might be a little fun to have because oftentimes I'm replying to something that's mentioned in chat and it comes up, but of course with the stream delay being about 2 minutes, you guys don't know what I'm referring to. So hopefully this helps when I say something like, hey, tis Forsaken, good morning to you too. I am doing well. I'm actually feeling like $1,000,000 fucking bucks because I had this thing in my ear fucking removed. I'm already swearing. I'm not even 1 minute into the broadcast and I've sworn like 5 times. Stop it. But yeah, I had a Q-tip stuck in my ear for those who don't know, and yes, I know it's the don't ever put Q-tips in your ear thing, but I was drunk, I was impulsive, whatever. Point is, it was made worse because I chose not to go to the ER in the United States on a fear count. I was scared how much money it would cost, and by taking not 1 but 2 plane trips home, the pressure from the plane drove it like really far into my canal that the hospital couldn't get it out. So I spent several hours in the ER with a doctor laying over me with tweezers trying to get it out. They decided it was too close to the eardrum and was thus too scary. Now in my mind, I thought like if this was if my palm was the wall of my eardrum, I thought there's maybe like a little bit stuck here or something, right? When I finally went to the ENT specialist to get it out and they pulled it out, yo, it was fucking huge. Again, I'm swearing, pardon me. But I can hear, I can't get this ear wet for the next couple days, so it's a little awkward. I'm wearing my toque over my ear cover just to help reduce the amount of sweat that gets in there today. But yeah, other than that, I can hear my eardrums are intact. I am safe. So all of those of you who expressed concern over Twitter, please know I read all of your messages, even if I didn't respond to all of them, and greatly appreciated seeing that support. But anyways, let's talk about what's going on here today for WCS. So it's the WCS EU Regional Qualifiers. There's a lot of people who didn't actually qualify through ladder. They're not like seeded in or anything crazy like that. So there's a lot of competition. And of course, Europe has a massive bracket. So I'm really excited to see what's going on today. A quick actually peek at the in-game scene. You can see there are a ton of people in the chat channel. We got Soul, Mana, Snoot, Optimus, some lesser known names too. Like, I'm pretty excited about this. Geralt's a pretty good Protoss player, even though he's got a strike at the moment. Laser, etc. So I believe it's top 2 that get through today, but I'm gonna treat this like every other WCS qualifier where I'm just here to cast some games. I'm actually not personally gonna be invested in the bracket itself. It'll be cool to see who fights against whom. But you guys, if you want to follow the actual details of like the nitpicky stuff, be sure to check out, I guess, Wikipedia or something. Actually, I'll just say that's it. I think it's just top 2 that qualify. I'm gonna check on that really quick. But yo, Roo, what's up? Thank you for the 4-month resub. First sub of the day. Let's be honest. First sub in 4 days since DreamHack. Thank you. Top 4 get through. Okay. There you go. Man, actually 4 slots for like a lot of really good players. That's super scary. But anyways, at the moment we are waiting for the bracket to presently be generated. I think like all WCS events, this takes some time. So if the bracket doesn't change much, all right, I'm looking at it right now. This might change because they haven't finalized it. But Insane versus Renka, I don't know who Renka is, but Insane's actually a pretty good player. Underrated for sure. Don't know that he's the favorite to win the bracket, but if he moves on, he fights against Snoot. At the moment, Beastie's seated against Wooded Microbe. He might fight Damshar later on. I don't want to get too excited because these brackets might change. We see Clem, we see Hearthstone, but yeah. Once the brackets are told they're finalized, I'll take a deeper look. If you can type exclamation brackets in chat, you'll be able to see yourselves and thus follow the bracket. But thank you, Nagidesu. 2 months. Oh yeah. Thanks. Glad to have you back. Also, This is not meant to be bait, all right? I know I see some people in there who might fall for this. I'm telling you, don't. Wait until we got some more people on the channel. But I put a new 10,000 bit sound alert, which I tested extensively this morning to try and make sure it was the perfect level of not too loud, not too quiet. So I'm fingers are crossed that if, it might even happen today, but if whenever we get our 10,000 bit cheer, oh boy, it should be great. But it also might just be fucking like awful at the same time. I feel like that is a quick summary of most things I do, however. I was amazed that the Hyatt social media team got back to you at 4 a.m. Eastern time. Yeah, well, they weren't very helpful, to be honest. I don't want to get into that because I'm not like looking for legal action, but I was if my ear damage was broken. I'll just leave it at that. But luckily I can hear. I'm good. I'm Gucci. I love your French girl poster. That beautiful bastard over there. Actually, it was so cool. If you guys didn't see me retweet it, this guy, Dami, within like 10 minutes of me posting that stupid picture on Twitter, he responded with like, he actually did like a sketch painting thing, whatever you want to call it. Oh, hold up, the brackets are live. One sec, guys. One sec. Oh my god, I hate this bracket system. Okay, insane version. Alright, I'm gonna message a couple people because there are a lot of things. Where's Clem? I really hate that you can't control F on these stupid brackets. It's not the same. But yeah, okay, so hang on. We'll go back to story time in a moment. I want to try and secure us a game first so we're not sitting here for 40 minutes twiddling our thumbs. Alright, Renko might not be here, so we're gonna look for a backup game too. Look, and he's competing today. He's always fun to watch. Oh, Denver's in the bracket today too. Denver's also a very fun player. I'm just gonna poke 3 or 4 people to try and be safe. Safe. Oh wait, Goblin and Damaja. Wait, if they're playing. Cause yo, here's the deal. Top side of the bracket. Goblin versus Damaja. Winner plays a laser. Now that might be a ZVZ or ZvP, I don't know, but that could also be a pretty good side to watch. I was looking for Insane though because the winner plays Snoot, and I know I already saw like 3 people in chat asking for Snoot today. I promise nothing. This is a huge bracket. It's double elimination. It's gonna be a ridiculous day, guys. One way or the other. I'll look at that who that was in just a second. Sorry, like I said, I'm still messaging like 5 people. Trying to get a game here. What about Geralt? Who's he got for an opponent? Dear brackets, you suck. Okay, Geralt does have an opponent, but I don't think their opponent's here. I don't see him in the channel. Who's Beastie fighting? I know I see Beastie online. Oh yeah, Beastie versus Wooded Microbe. Beastie's a fun guy. That'll be a long wait afterwards though. Hesphestus. Hey, thank you for the 4 months. Priming it up. Glad to have you back. And oh, I see Monty in the chat. What's up, Monty? How you doing this morning, my dude? Yo, I know you're not gonna come out and play with me, but dude, Monty, I started playing Pokemon Go in Austin again, right? I was playing the Thanias, and when I had my ear appointment yesterday, I had to go down to Vancouver. So you know, like about where I live in Richmond, right? I had to go down to Vancouver, West Broadway or something, and I totally just ended up spending an hour afterwards, like walking around, fucking playing Pokemon Go instead of rushing home. It's like, it's good for you, it's exercise, but it's also like, god damn it, not again. I was hooked before. I thought I was out, and they bring me right back in. Alright, hang on. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, there we go. Alright, so I might be just doing Beastie's game for now. There's a lot of casters, there's a lot of games, there's a lot of things going on, folks. Beastie, he's being so cheeky right now. All right, I think we got I think we got Beastie's game coming up then. All right, so this will be a match just to start matches for the sake of matches. All right, is what it is. Is this live? Yes. Oh wait. I got a diff. All right, hold up. We got Goblin. I take it back. We got Goblin versus Damaja. Once you get into games, it's like a smooth flow from there, right? But it's like getting into the games. But I think we got Goblin versus Damaja, and I think this is gonna be a really fun one. I think this is a good match. So. Looks like they're doing vetoes, and we'll get rocking and rolling. I want to see DeMuslim's. I think he just tweeted his PC's coming or something. I guess I don't know. I haven't been following DeMuslim, but I guess he moved recently to Sweden or something. I'm going off of Twitter here, and he is still trying to get us like PC and stuff. Also, yo, does anyone else hate the taste of Powerade and stuff? I'm not sick, but I'm in that kind of like low, like danger of getting sick type. Like you know that feeling. So I've been drinking like Powerade and lots of water, and I just not a fan of the way it tastes. Pokemon Go is dead. No way, dude. I found a bunch of people doing raids. That's what shocked me. But CPP Maniac, what's up, dude? I know that's not a brand new sub, but it's a new sub. So hey, fuck it. Thank you for that Prime sub. Welcome on board. And looks like we got our first game ready to go. Damaja versus Goblin. I actually don't know how Damaja or Goblin are measuring up at the moment, but I want to say like last year these guys were actually showing a lot of promise. Damaja, of course, coming back to his old form, and Goblin kind of just a bit of a cheesy Protoss player in general. But it has been a significant amount of time since I've seen either of them, so I am not sure how this will measure up. But I do feel like from memory they're about the same skill level, so this should be an interesting series. And you made with Game Heart. I love you. Damaja actually hosted with the WCS Game Heart mods, so this will be a wonderful viewing experience for all involved. Every kind underscore. Hey, thank you for the 2 months. Welcome back. And with that, guys, I think we're almost ready to get into it. Lost and Found will be the first map in this best of 3. And yeah. We're going into it as soon as the players are ready. In the meanwhile, sit tight as we enjoy this introduction together. See you guys in the game. Oh boy, it's been a hot second since I've been casting, but we're into the thick of it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to BaseTradeTV, covering the WCS EU qualifiers for what I believe is Valencia. But you know what, I'm realizing now I should double check that. Spotted to the top right side of the map, he is one of the most OG European Zerg players, and I don't mean no gaming, I mean original gangsta. It's Damaja. With his opponent bottom left, the pink Protoss Goblin. Now again, these are 2-player names some of you may not recognize, or hell, some of you remember fondly. But the reality is we haven't seen Goblin or Damaja compete in much when it comes to like regular events. Damaja actually will show up for some weeklies, Goblin from time to time too, but again, the inconsistency here is I haven't seen them in quite some time. I think they were a lot more active about tournaments last year, but 2018, so. But that also might be my fault, because I haven't been covering Go for StarCrafts, and we've only been focusing on content creation, and oh god, don't let that be me. You guys saw that spike, right? No. This is such weird lag. This is like, I think it might be the other observer. But anyways, getting back to my point of things, with that weird lag spike aside, Goblin was quite a cheesy player when we were seeing him more frequently. And when he would win games, it was pretty gross, but when he would lose games, it was pretty bad as well. So we'll see where they measure up. Again, past memory says these guys should be pretty close in skill, and I don't think it'd be super crazy. Also, yo, I didn't get to super tweak the audio. I'm guessing things should sound well to you guys, but please let me know if any sounds are off so I can adjust. Remember, there's a 2-minute stream delay, so things won't be updated immediately. But yeah, why no cast BC? Dude, I love BC to death, and Wooded Microbe's a funny guy. We've seen him from time to time here on the channel, but I thought that this was a much closer matchup, and so I thought we're gonna have a better time here. I really, like, no offense to Wooded Microbe, I think BC should win that series pretty easily, although that's gonna be a really cool upset if Wooded Microbe ends up winning, and we'll keep an eye on the brackets for that. But Goblin and Damaja is a ZvP. I've been seeing a lot of ZvP lately, and I was curious how these guys measured up. So there's no hate for BC, there's no hate for Wooded Microbe. I just saw a better looking match when we went for it. The thing is, though, there's not going to be a lot of amazing, like, look at the brackets, right? This is a huge amount of signups coming out for WCS, and we're going to see better matchups as the bracket funnels out, but it's also double elimination, so a lot of your favorite players will be sticking around for another game even after they've lost their first series. So don't worry, we'll have a good chance to cover the spread. I'm looking to pick some crowd favorites. I'm also just looking to keep games rocking and rolling. Nothing feels worse than casting these things and having hella downtime. So again, we'll play to what we can. I know, again, we saw a lot of requests for Snoot, and I'll try and grab some Snoot later. But of course, if you have a player you really would like to see play out today, don't be shy in chat. Just let me know. I promise nothing, but I'll do my best. It's kind of, I guess that's casting for me in a nutshell, huh? We need Rivkin to cast on the couch in that exact same pose all game. Yo, so real talk, guys. First off, that picture that you saw earlier of me, that was a drunken mistake. I have to live with it. But secondly, casting from the couch isn't all that great. I know it always looks really comfortable, and you're like, yeah, home story cup, that'll be good. But honestly, casting from anything other than like a nice chair at a decent level, it's actually kind of annoying. Like, especially if you gotta observe and you're like hunched forward. This was what we did at BTSL, right? Granted, that was not a bad setup and that couch was super comfy, but it's never fun being on the couch, in my opinion. Maybe if you're like drunk and it's home story cup, there's a difference, but you ain't never gonna catch me lying down trying to cast StarCraft 2. Especially because I feel like I would just fall asleep halfway through the game. But yo, I talked about cheesy when I should have been talking about goddamn dirty. There's 6 additional gateways with charge coming down. Now, real quick for Damaja, he doesn't see any of this, of course. There's no overlords nearby. There's nothing to scout this. Goblin's gonna be hitting hard, and I mean, I don't even... Damaga's got like no units to work with. He's droning right now, and I think he was hoping to just go straight to Hydras with that layer. I mean, if it's anything else, Mutas even would be funky, but oh, this lag is pretty nasty. What is happening? It was the other caster. Oh, I was gonna type safe. But yeah, other caster. Okay, he's got it. He's out. All right, see ya, Nistic. That's unfortunate because that was some pretty devastating lag. That's like really could screw you over lag type thing. But anyways, looks like he's good to go. So see you so long. See you later. Thanks for all the fish. But there's that Hydra in. So like I said, Damaja want to go straight to Hydras, but the problem is, and we all know this, we've seen enough StarCraft 2 at this point. Even if this is your first time watching StarCraft 2, all you need to know is what Goblin is doing is pretty good against what Damaja is presently doing. And there's even a Dark Shrine follow-up to this. Now, I don't know if this will be for DTs. I think if he sees the opportunity, he will seize the opportunity. That's some clever wordplay, pat on my own back. But to go for Dark Templar, but alternatively just get Archons. Either way, the charge lot should be more than enough. Damaga's probably dead. I really struggle to see how he can survive this. He's now seen the Zealots as the creep comes up. He's got Hydra spawning in a few seconds. A drone pull is going to be absolutely necessary to just keep some of these Hydras alive in the back. They've got the damage, but they don't have the health to sustain. These Queens sitting on the front line aren't going to hold for much longer. Drones get pulled kind of late. The Hydras are doing not too bad on this ramp. There's no way, no way. What? Is Damaja going to make this work? No, the Zealot's on the top side of the warp and he needed. That was a really big key part of this, but there's still Hydras being protected behind the Queens. The Queens are soaking all that damage. The Hydras are actually holding the lines for the time being, and this might just be helped by Damaja. He lost a lot of Queens, and he lost a freaking lot of drones to make this happen, but this is close to getting to stabilize points. I mean, the Dark Shrine's not done, so Goblin can't even go for Archons. He can't swap out and go for DTs. These Zealots on the main are as good as dead. And Damaja, despite losing 30-something drones, actually has a stable worker count to come out of this, because while we saw Goblin make it look like he was taking a third, he never actually did. This was incredibly all-in out of our Protoss player, and Damaja, oh, you need yourself an Overseer or something. Well, I guess he's got Spore Crawlers. Might not be the end of the world. But he's still mining. His income, despite that attack, is still holding fairly well compared to his opponent. And I think that, oh, these DTs? Yeah, straight up DTs. Yeah, the main base might be a bit susceptible. Damaga's realized what's happened here. He knows it was an all-in. He knows that this wasn't like, okay, now his opponent's probing behind it. But Goblin is making it like, he's trying to make a nexus. He's really relying on these DTs to cause enough chaos that he can actually get this base up and running, because he does have more workers. He knows Damaga's still making army units right now, but if that War Prism dies, this game is pretty much over. Oh, I got a little bit caught up attacking the plates, so unfortunately he did not kill the War Prism. The Zealots came home without really attacking the third, and now it's back to droning for Damaja. Well, Goblin goes for probes. I think all in all, Goblin did some pretty respectable damage with that attack, but Damaja, in my opinion, should come out way better for this. The fact that Goblin didn't have a third finish, like if Goblin actually had that third base down and that attack still failed the way it did, I wouldn't feel so bad for Goblin's chances. But at the moment, Damaja is looking pretty good. Now, of course, this all changes, right? Upgrades for one player, no upgrades for the other. Too much of one thing that gets countered by another. Ooh, but we have a Lurker Den coming up. Man, when's Blizzard gonna fix this? It's so weird looking. This is like the weirdest bug that's lasted for as long as it has. And I still don't understand what changed it, because, I mean, we all know, we saw it months ago, the Lurker Den actually had a morphing structure animation, and it wasn't bugged out, but once again, we see this weird, creepy spine just sticking out of the ground, but that's going to be for Lurkers, and that's where Goblin might be in some trouble. Right now, I believe he has no observers. He does have an Oracle for detection. That's something, but this is no bueno. If Lurkers come in play, despite the Immortals, and he can't see them, there's just nothing he'll be able to do about it. And Damaja, granted, again, I haven't seen this guy for a while, but even in the Legacy of the Void beta, this guy was using Lurkers when nobody else was using Lurkers, you know what I mean? Like, Damaja is pretty well acquainted with this stage of the game. But yo, I don't know why that alert's not going off. Did I break this? Hang on. Stream alerts. Yeah, the alerts are on. Okay, well, I'm just going to assume it's congested a little bit. Keymag 12 came back for 29 months. The Nightshade SC2 just now. Hey, thank you for the 26 months, brother. And yeah, I do. This happened the other day. I think it was Monty. If Monty's still here, he broke the alerts and they like all got congested and then just barfed out all at the same time. But I guess not so bad this time around. Honestly, just any chance to blame Monty in. Warp Prism setting up for another attack towards the main. Honestly, I'm not too convinced this will do well. Damaja has intentionally left several Hydras here. You know, it's kind of interesting. I want to draw a comparison real quick. I'm not sure if anyone watched The Pylon last night. You know, the show with Artosis and what's supposed to be in control. One of the things they discussed was how present-day players are like match up kind of to old-day players. And the reality is everybody nowadays is better than they were to their own Wings of Liberty counterparts. But I think in general that's the case. It's such a simple maneuver, but it took almost a year for Zerg players to feel comfortable leaving what is usually 4 to 6 Hydras in the main base at any given time against Protoss, so they could constantly try and pick off a Warp Prism that comes in, or actually defend units that sneak into the main base. Now it is such a common staple thing, so not even drawing the comparison to like 5 years ago, but even just a year ago, you can see how much players improve. And Whether it's someone like Damaja, Snoot, TLO, a laser, doesn't matter. Cyril, the God King himself. Everyone has just become so good at StarCraft 2, and it makes it really enjoyable. I do remember a time back in like the Zotac Cup casting days where there was a very distinct, like, not even close, like it was a line in the sand drawn with skill. You were Korean or you were not. And a lot of foreigners are measuring up nowadays the ways they never could have in the past. So I know it's such a small thing to go over, but without much else happening at the moment, I really like the fact that Damaja is not playing this casually. He is not estimating or disrespecting his opponent's position in the game. In fact, tons of spines here on the right side. I love this too, because if anything walks in instead of gets warped in, they're gonna actually have to funnel through a wall and a really terrible choke, and it'll make it really difficult to actually kill those spine crawlers. So whether on purpose or by accident, and I think it's on purpose because it looks fantastic. But hello lurkers here to the north, spines to the south. Damaja, I'm afraid, might be playing a little too defensively as he moves on to that hive tech. Probably thinking about Broodlords, honestly. It's good against Protoss, plus the Spire's cooking up as we speak. Got an Overseer scouting what's going on. He sees so many Immortals that if... yeah, this smells like Broodlord territory. Goblin's gonna have an idea, though. And this is what's beautiful about StarCraft 2, right? Goblin has not scouted in a significant amount of time to see, like, what his opponent's doing. Like, he doesn't see the spines down here. He has no idea about the Lurker mass over here. But he knows that by showing to that Overseer right moments ago... what was that sound effect? Okay, I missed something. But he knows the Overseer just saw like 8-something Immortals. So he's got to imagine that Damaja is playing counter to this. Again, respecting their opponent's position in the game, Goblin now starts aiming towards getting some Tempests out, fully expecting the Broodlords. It's been a very interesting game of passive mind games after the initial attack early on. Kind of a cold war of sorts that's going on. Both players stockpiling their weaponry and what have you. But I think with 3 Stargates on the way and a lot of storms, Goblin should be pretty well set to take on the task when it comes to tackling Damaja. As long as he doesn't walk it. Oh my, Lurker Lord! There's 22 Lurkers in play. Yo, that hive tech, I said Broodlords, but honestly, just get the adaptive talons. Boom, there you go. That instant burrow on 22 lurkers. Normally, Immortals are such a hard counter to lurkers. We like just laugh at it, but this is gonna be lurkers doing so much splash damage. It doesn't matter. Half of them are gonna die. Damaja's still gonna come out of the fight victorious. He knows this too. There's no pushing in this choke. Revelation reveals so many lurkers. That's a huge WTF moment. Oh my god. Alright, this is such a weird composition at Damaja to the point where I don't actually like it. Also, we didn't have Tempest come out. We had Carriers come out. So it appears Goblin's just going for your classic Golden Armada and not super intuitive counterplay. And that being said, Carriers will still work out very well because with so many lurkers eating up that supply, I mean, honestly, 22 lurkers eats up like half of Damaja's supply. That means he's got very little in the terms of anti-air. So no matter what he makes next, he's not going to be able to shoot up very effectively. Now, as Berserk players try to put down like 40 Spore Crawlers, right? You abduct a carrier in, Spore Crawlers take care of it for you. But not going to necessarily happen here. Really expensive poke out of Goblin as he loses that Archon, hoping to get a Lurker. Doesn't get the Lurker, and Damaja even transfuses it too. Down to the south side, looks like a hatchery did go down, and a recall to save the Immortals is nice. This was an interesting hit, but I'm not sure it was devastating. Another base was just set up to the north, so Damaja just transfers his drones, and this is more like a blip in his economy than a devastating blow, but I just realized that's so much larva he may never actually use because it's not going to be attached to the hatchery. So he's going to hotkey the hatchery, right? Oh, this is going to be awkward. So this, a little bit of attack to the north side. One single Zealot getting in here, causing some chaos. He has yet to kill a single drone, however. What? You're the least effective Zealot in the history of run-bys. Oh my god. He does have to protect this. These aren't just like Evo chambers for the sake of blocking. These are actual Evo chambers. That's his 3-3 coming up next. So the Immortal goes down pretty easily thanks to the Lurkers, but oh boy, if he had actually focused that Evo chamber, that would have been a huge setback here for Damaja. Goblin's upgrades, of course, looking fantastic, but we are entering that territory of can Goblin go and win the game by turtling up? He's on 5 bases, Golden Armada style cannons coming down to defend these bases. He's going to have Storms and Templar. Or will he take too long to respond with his slow-moving air army to the speedy Lurkers that now with adaptive talons move 10% faster and have that instant burrow? I would actually really love if Damaja tried to do some drops or even a Nidus play, because I think breaking the front line is honestly out of the question, but getting behind Goblin's army is something we see Protoss do very frequently. Down here to the south, not really a lot of action. Corrupt is just kind of scouting around to see what it finds on the edge of the map. I guess looking for a warp prism. I like that move, actually. That's kind of clever. Keymake12 says, Base Trade, I needed a new headset and you keep me covered and save my time. Heart, orders out. Dude, oh sweet, did you just get... Yo, I should show this off later. I was using the... So when I packed up to go for Austin, I didn't have my sound set up because it had been all packed up. I was using that headset to play some Terraria with some friends of mine, and I know Terraria, I'm so cool. And the headset works fantastic, man. Like, honestly, love it. I wish I could just get the sound working on the PC properly so I could use it for actually casting stuff. But yeah, if you got the GSP 500, hell yeah. But you guys should also know that that promo code BaseTrade, that works on everything on the website. I think it's like 5% off or something sweet like that. So if you are looking to get anything from Sennheiser, maybe it's not even just this headset, use that promo code because it gives me credit and saves you some bucks. Frankenfurter, my favorite Furter, to be frank. Thank you for the 29-month resub. Glad to have you back, man. Welcome, welcome. Oh, this is such... I don't like this kind of style, and it's important that they are both playing passive. I'll explain my thoughts in a moment, but I hate this because so much of this comes down to not the actual composition, not necessarily the decision making, although it is decision making that leads into positioning, and positioning ends up being the most important element to close this game out. But I was gonna say, I don't like the passive play out of Damaja. It's necessary, right? He's building up like 400 spore crawlers. He's hoping to use every advantage he has possible. But the thing is, he's letting Goblin continue to expand. A lot of Protoss players who do this carrier style, you know, we've seen it before, that really gross endgame Protoss, mass Templar, mass carrier, Void Rays, you have it. That comes off of 4 bases because usually that's what they're contained to. And the aggression from the Zerg player doesn't end up killing the game. Boxes them in, they run out of money, and the game doesn't look so sweet for the Protoss from there. But Damaja has allowed Goblin to not just get a 5th base, but now he's 6th base. And my fear is that Goblin will not be approaching the situation where he runs out of money. He won't be in that awkward scenario where he can't build more interceptors. He's going to have everything he needs. And while Damaja's doing the cool little oversupply trick, by the way, 212 out of 200, something exclusive to Zergs, hell yeah, it's not necessarily going to be that great for him. He really has to trade out. And when it comes to trading out against this size of a Protoss army, I don't know that he will be able to. But that's kind of a cute move. He walks past the cannons, moves around the shield battery, and tries to just drive off the probes from mining. I mean, it works. But Goblin, like I said, with the extra 2 bases, is not so concerned with this one. And Damaja knows about the south, right? Okay, he does. He does. Yeah, awkward is as awkward does. His carrier doesn't have the interceptors to take on the Hydras. He's actually... Oh, it was so silly. 2 Hydras, hell yeah. Well, I know it's more than 2, but you guys know what I'm saying here. The amount of lurkers out of Damaja, though, is so awkward because if he kills the ground army, right, the biggest fear for Damaja at the moment is actually not the carriers. And it's not even the mothership. It's what it protects below it. Archons and usually Templar with plenty of storms, which we should note, actually, I don't think... Was it 6? 6 is actually pretty good. I'll take that back. I thought he had less than those. But I was going to say, those Templar are absolutely necessary to take on any sort of air attack. So the Corruptors bunch up, they get stormed, they get Archoned, they die pretty quick. But if the Lurkers, now they might likely die doing it, but if the Lurkers kill the ground units, that air army is no longer so scary. So Damaja's incredible Lurker army, as silly as it looks, if it kills the Templar, if it kills the Archons, mission accomplished. That's what it needs to be doing. Although I do fear his detection, or lack thereof, could be a problem. There's only about 2 Overseers that I see. 3, excuse me. The Immortal's just coming through. Nothing to push these bad boys back. Oh, this is just free damage, and that sucks. He starts moving some Lurkers over, but I don't know if this is going to stop the Immortal rampage. I mean, killing the Spore Crawlers is not devastating, but it does distract them. Here's that fight on the right side. Lurkers going in for that dive. They want those shots. They kill 1 Archon. They kill 2 Archons. But he bleeds out so much in the process. However, Storm's still standing. Lurkers moving up to the army. Almost all Goblin. He takes almost all the Templar. 2 Storms remain, and Damaja backs up with those Corruptors. This was a pretty nice attack on a Goblin, as it does come close to killing a base. But as far as army trades go, that came out pretty even. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. That's so cool. All right, Damaja doesn't have a lot left for punching power. But as long as he splits and doesn't stack up and these storms don't get a fucking quintuple kill like they're about to, Damaja, so many corruptors are going down. What are you doing? Why though? Oh my god. Oh my god. That was 100 supply-ish in losses. They were so close on the resources lost, and then Damaja just threw it all away, man. His hopes, his dreams, down the drain. What a mistake of an engagement that was. He comes up to the north. That spine crawler, these queens, they end up holding the assault. Oh, transfuse the spine? No. Kill the zealot? No. Hello? Hello? Moshi Mosh! Kill the zealot! Okay. Damaja had actually sacrificed a lot of drones, not through kills. Oh my god. I told you guys the larva would be a problem, right? He doesn't know he has all this larva. He's using it off the hotkeys. But yeah, he sacrificed a lot of his worker count to make spore crawlers, to make spine crawlers. The idea was he wouldn't need the workers because he had like a 5k bank. But they're gone. He actually doesn't have that many drones to support what he wants to do for the follow-up to this game. And like, okay, that's also a little good. If he can afford to remax, he'll get to 200 supply. He'll look fantastic, but he won't remax again. Damaja won't have the money to take another bad fight like he just said. And I would even argue he couldn't afford to take the fight badly the first time either, but he did, and this is where we're at. There was 22 lurkers. There's still about 20 in play. The corruptor count on 37. I mean, I think honestly, if done correctly, Damaja can win a fight, but the way he dived in there, the way he just like gave away all those corruptors, that was not the right way to go about doing it. And of course, the longer he waits, the better it looks for Goblin, who gets more upgrades. He's even got his shields upgrades maxed out. It's gonna help the Archons a ton. It's gonna help the carriers a ton, but oh, those lurkers still looking for blood. He wants to surround a recall, but that might have been a mistake. Because when you're recalling, you can't fight back, and Goblin just took some pretty big losses on the ground there. Almost all the Templar removed from play. He just warped in 4 brand new ones. No Archons left. And okay, that's what I'm talking about. The carriers are not going to be that effective at killing the corruptors. The carriers are not going to be that scary against the lurkers. It was the storms. It was the Archons. Damaja doesn't, at the moment, have a lot to fear. Even with a Void Ray coming out, I mean, honestly, not that terrifying. Damaja finds himself in a not bad spot after such a bad engagement. We'll see how he follows up with this. He's trying to continue to expand here. He's got a little bit of money going for him, but he still can't afford to take a careless fight. I play like this. I'm silver. We've all been there, guys. We've all had the best game of our lives ended by some stupid amateur mistakes. Damaja showing us that he is in fact human. But army for army, this is matching up pretty well. That resources lost also evened up with that previous engagement. A little bit awkward here though for Damaja. He doesn't want to push in with the cannons there, but I think if he just pushes with the lurkers like he did before, gets that surround, and he doesn't, like, I love the fact they spread out. Because when he comes in for that concave, the corruptors will also be more spread out, but things are still in a bit of a tough spot. He can't really afford to move forward so easily, so casually. He knows this. Goblin knows this. We all know this, but he's going to go for it now. He looks for that break. The corruptor's coming in for that dive. And of course, these lurkers, even if they die, as long as they take out the Templar, it will have been worthwhile. And they force the Templar into Archons. No storms, but the corruptors are stacked. The Voiders are going ham, and the Archons are obliterating. Damaja didn't realize that the Archons were on the ground below this, and it cost him his army once again. Now it's like, oh man, Damaja has so much larva at this base he doesn't realize he has. He's like, you could argue in the danger zone of being larva starved, but honestly, money's a bigger problem for him right now. He's not remaxing. I think he's considering, like, what do I remax on? He's sitting on 3k, 2k, and not building a single unit. What's going on here? Is he giving up? Is he throwing in the towel? It's kind of what it feels like. It's mostly pure Hydras coming out. Now it is 3-3 on the Hydras. They are maxed out, but this is against a Protoss army that is 3-3-3. They've got that extra +3 in there. Oh, I'm so jaded because I thought Damaja was really going to take that fight. Also, hey, did I pick a good one or did I pick a good one? 25 minutes into game 1 of the WCS qualifiers. Hell yeah! Although, this game does look like it's coming close to an end here. He's not going for Hydras for the sake of Hydras. He's actually making lurkers out of this. I don't think he's gonna actually have enough corruptors to kill the air army. And I don't mean the carriers necessarily, I mean the void rays. This void ray should wreck everything, and of course what they'll wreck are the lurkers that can't shoot up. But here's that Burrow, he wants to take out the Archons. Run, Damaja, run! It's not gonna be good enough. I think that's it. Down to 19 drones, less than 40 supply. Damaja taps out with a GG! Goblin takes game number 1. Whew. Guys, that was a long first match of the day. But we'll see what happens next. I'm going to quickly squeeze in a commercial break because I'm greedy. So sit tight. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys soon with Game 2. Welcome back to the WCS Qualifiers, folks. It's game number 2, and if you missed map number 1, it was pretty long. It's pretty interesting. And we'll see how this one plays out, but the bottom left side of 16-bit, we have the red Zerg player, Damaja. And his opponent at the top right, the pink Protoss Goblin. Now, absolutely, I think mistakes were made from both players multiple times during that game. It was far from a clean map 1, but I think I still put the onus a little bit more on Damaja. I mean, you could argue Goblin should have lost because of his failed all-in, and I wouldn't disagree with you, but I think Damaja missed a lot of opportunities. And we saw, what kills me about that game too is we saw Damaja very clearly execute his plan. Like, he actually got to kill a lot of the units with the lurkers. The corruptors could have been handled better. I think part of it was him just not understanding how many Archons, or not realizing how many Archons were left, because both engagements, it really was that splash damage that got him murderized. And we'll see if he makes the same mistakes or if he cleans up his act here for game 2. We got some questions about the Alima League in chat. So a quick answer to this is it was just an unfortunate circumstance of events. On one hand, I was unavailable to cast mostly because I was in the hospital. I think that's a reasonable reason to miss a cast, but Zombie Grub was not able to cover it for a couple of different reasons. So it really was the whirlwind of bad luck. Hopefully, we won't be missing any more Alima League casts, and while it hasn't been announced yet, I don't believe, there's some really cool Alima League things coming up for July, so I really am planning to not miss any more of them. On that note, too, by the way, Maynard will be joining in for a few more Alima Leagues to help cover some of that Korean time zone goodness, so if you guys like Maynard, and you like my dumb shenanigans with Maynard, you get a little bit of both in the upcoming months. And on a segue from that, I know we're casting WCS, but both players have actually gone for nothing too crazy yet, so we'll just keep an eye on the mini-map for now once Damaja takes his third. I am planning BTSL Season 2 as we speak. The problem is, I didn't realize Ting Season 5 was approaching as quickly as it was, so I'm in talks with Jesse where we may push Ting Season 5 to August and run BTSL Season 2 between the middle of June to the end of July. Because it's only going to be online, it's not going to be offline with the finals like the first season. So unfortunately right now the BaseTradeTV calendar, you guys will notice, is non-existent. I'm looking on getting that updated and fixed up soon, but I think it's just a little bit awkward, unfortunately, with timing for things. And we're trying to make sure that it's not so awkward when things go live. So for now, the only guaranteed thing we're doing every single week is the Alima League on Tuesdays. But we're looking to get more up on that calendar soon and hopefully updates out to y'all. Of course, I'll be putting the updates first and foremost in our sub channel, but most of the communication I've been doing with chat, with stream in general, has been through Discord. So whether you're a non-subscriber or a subscriber, either way, being on the BaseTradeTV Discord's the best place to get information about what's happening, what tournaments are coming up, where and when you can watch them, etc. So exclamation mark Discord in the chat. If you guys haven't already joined in, please do. You don't even have to use the voice chatting element of it. Just the chatting. The chatting. The not voice chatting. There you go. Shout out to my friend's Discord because they have a voice chatting channel that I've just parodied in the worst ways. But anyways, Goblin gets a pretty decent scout with that adept. He did kill a single drone. I believe it's just one. Yep. Not too bad. It's interesting because, especially watching the way Damaja played that first game, it really feels like Goblin is going to be the decision maker for a lot of this series. I would love to see that change. I'd love to see Damaja be the one to lead the dance, so to speak. But so far with the Stargate opener, nothing really super insane. It's pretty normal, right? You go over the Phoenix, clip some Overlords, you pair that up with the Oracle, it lifts the Queens, you get some kills. It's a nice little bit of tag team action. Damaja just confirming with those links that there is no third base down either. Might be a little bit wary. Goblin, like I said, he's very much a guy keen to do cheesy or all-in builds, and, well, this has certainly been making its way into the ladder. We saw this with, of course, Mana, who had a hell of a good run at WCS Austin, but of course we saw it first in GSL. Multiple Stargates, but it's not the double Stargate, it's the triple. And that's going to be a lot of Phoenix coming into play. Something that I think if Damaja just goes straight Hydras, he should be okay to deal with, but it's always so frustrating because you're no longer going to be able to rely on like 5 Hydras. They're all going to get lifted. You need all of your Hydra lists together, all of your Queens together to survive that inevitable onslaught. But hey, Jugu, what's up, dude? 30 months is subscriberino cappuccino. Glad to have you back, man. Glad for those memes in the chat too, dude. Today's been a little bit dry in the memes, guys. But anyways, if you want to take a look at the brackets, they are available through this very awful Battlefy website. I am not a fan of people hosting things on Battlefy, but yeah, you can check out Battlefy for all the details on your favorite players competing in the brackets, even the ones we're not covering. But if you haven't seen on Team Liquid, folks, there are like 9 or 10 other streamers covering matches. I believe there is a Russian streamer in mine, but you should be able to check them out on that Team Liquid sidebar. Seriously, a lot of people covering games today. Now, these Phoenix being very annoying, I think at this point, if Damaja didn't know, he definitely knows now that this was a multiple Stargate build. When he dove in there with the Overlord, he saw it anyways. I take that back, sorry. I forgot the Overlord scouted to the north side, so. Alright, he knows what's up, and the problem really isn't like, oh, you just make like a couple of different units and thus you've easily countered this. Phoenix are not easy to deal with. In fact, they're infuriating to watch. I would never want to be in this situation as a Zerg player, but 3 Spore Crawlers in a mineral line. I like this. It's not even an overreaction. It's exactly what he needs. All that extra damage goes a long way. Even if he doesn't kill a lot of Phoenix now, just getting them low enough to easily pick off later is a big deal. Of course, several Queens, a couple of Spores. There's 3 Spores over here too. It's so awkward. I don't know that 3 Spores are the response, but Damaja having invested a grand total of 9 Spore Crawlers is actually so expensive for him. But I guess the catch is it's less expensive than losing 20 Hydralisks. So now he's finally got some of those Hydras coming into play. He'll have the damage to take down these Phoenix. And the follow-up for Goblin is to stick on that Stargate path, and he's going into carriers. I thought, I don't know that this is really the best choice. Because again, it's not really carriers that necessarily win a game. It's the Storms and the Archons that go with the carriers. However, if enough Phoenix are still standing and he hasn't lost the majority of them, the idea is that they'll be able to pick up a lot of the Hydras. Without the amount of Hydras to shoot up, then he's going to be fine. But there's a lot of this and a lot of that that's going to come into play. I think overall, I'm hoping to favor Damaja, but when I favored Damaja last time, he lost. So, honestly, I really do feel though this should be a game that works well for Damaja, but man, the turtle from Goblin is real. He's got cannons, he's got shield batteries. And I'm not a big fan of this. Not the way he's set it up. If Damaja goes for any kind of attack, consolidates those Hydras, I mean, look at this. He's on 95 army supply. If he hits as the first 3 carriers come out, they're not even going to be strong enough to fight this. But I think he's very afraid of the Phoenix. I would argue even too afraid of the Phoenix to move out and do anything about it. But man, with so many Hydras, he really could. With 35 Hydras clumped, if those Phoenix come in, even if they Graviton Beam the first line of 5, they're all going to die to the Hydras. And, ooh, nice snipe. There's one. Damaja's got a little bit of creep spread. Not a lot, but he's got a little bit of creep spread to help these Hydras shuffle. They did just finish Muscular Augments, and I believe they do have their full range of upgrades, so I mean, they're lacking a +1, but numbers are key here, and Damaja has pretty much doubled the army supply. The only way I think this goes badly for him is if he doesn't realize there's stasis traps and he walks in, and not even half, but if like a quarter, a third of this army gets stuck in stasis, Damaja might die because he won't have enough to fight. He sends 1 Hydra forward. Oh, clever, clever boy. That's 1 stasis. There's, of course, another. But these are like really basic tactics that are so important that he's employing. He backs away, killing the interceptors, killing the Phoenix, trying to kill the Hydras. And of course, some of those zealots tank a damage, but again, 125 in that army supply, 43 hides just stutter stepping in, and then Stasis Trap gets triggered by the Zerglings. Damaga's absolutely taking control of the third base. He moves in to try and catch some of the probes. There should be a force field on the ramp, so I don't know that he can move much further than this, but even just killing the third, this is economy so necessary to be able to afford. Oh, no way, come on, there you go, get that Cyber Core. This is money he needs so desperately badly. He can't afford to turtle up. He can't build off of 4 Stargates or 3 Stargates on 2 bases. Not for long enough that matters to win this game. And the Cyber Core going down, by the way, means no additional sentries will be warped in, so these will be some of the last force fields available to stall out Damaja, and it clearly wasn't enough. Moving in now for the kill. I like this. The aggression's good. The Hydras are strong. 53 still going strong. Even with 6 carriers, I don't believe that's enough. Although the probe pull is proving to be pretty effective. And Damaja didn't target down those Phoenix at all, just killing the Interceptors. But of course, with the Interceptors being gone, not a lot of damage remains, and this is hella awkward. Damaja is actually losing the fight now. I can't even believe what I'm witnessing, but he's not focusing on any of these Phoenix. They're just lifting, and forget the damage they bring. They crowd control the Hydras. But Link still got by to the mineral lines. He still killed 35 probes. I think Goblin is still dead in this game. I'm just actually astonished he won this fight. Now he goes to push across the map, but note the production, guys. He doesn't even have the money to continue building interceptors. These probe losses were devastating for him. So as long as Damaja doesn't make a silly mistake, I really truly believe he can win this game still. Despite how bad that fight went, the limited Phoenix, and more importantly, the limited interceptors available, like these carriers are not, they're fighting at half mast, right? If they lose any, rebuilding them is also going to be very costly. Queens have got to soak some of that initial damage. I still don't like that he chooses to shoot the Interceptors, not the Phoenix. Focus down the Phoenix, man. The Interceptors are scary, but the Phoenix are killing you. Hydras, Damaja, please. Although I guess this still goes back to the no money situation, so this still works out for him. He'll counter, and he should win off of this. These carriers are not going to be having much cargo for very long, especially when they die. I mean, this is Damaja without weapon upgrades, too. If Damaja had even +1 for any of this, this would be so much more one-sided, but... Oh, don't stall out, man. Do not let Goblin recover off of this. Yikes, yikes, yikes. How loud is the in-game sound? Yo, is the game sound too loud for you guys? Let me know. I can always adjust it. Like I said, community caster on the fly. I'm not too stubborn about changing things around. I wanted to make sure the show's good for everybody watching. So if you find the game sounds too loud, please, guys, don't be shy. Let me know. It just takes 2 seconds to adjust. I'm going to hold off adjusting, see if other people feel the same. But yeah, just let me know. This game coming close to an end, though. 18 probes is not much. It's not much in the grand scheme of things. But I guess minerals for interceptors are all he really needs. I just don't think this is going to work out. Goblin maybe have been given a lot of time to recover, but I don't think Damaja is going to miss the opportunity to kill this army. Spore crawlers are down. That's going to help a little bit. He backs up again to shoot not the Phoenix, but the interceptors. Oh, this is so hard. This is so hard to watch Damaja. No, don't lose this game, please. Damaja, don't lose this game. He did send Hydras out, actually, so like I think in a base trade scenario, he still wins. But he should have been able to crush this army. I'm so frustrated watching this, by the way, because I love Damaja. Like, he's absolutely one of my favorite players. But he just split his forces in half. If Goblin actually recalls, I think he can kill the units Damaja's brought across the map. Like, Damaja effectively just stasis trapped half of his army and half of his army, right? He sends half across the map and leaves half here to die. I don't think he's got enough to kill. I think if Goblin does recall, he can win, but he's not recalling. He's going for an actual kill here. This is so awkward out of both players. Less than perfect, for sure, but I love these messy situations. As far as the race itself goes, though, this doesn't look good for Damaja. Goblin's actually killing his buildings way faster. He's got way fewer buildings as well. The Hydras are going uncontested in the main, but oh, that recall hits. Yikes. I guess, no, Damaja should still win this though, right? I see the question mark though. Goblin's got so much army supply that once he cleans up these Hydras, he can just go. Like, he could probably leave the sentry at home to force field that ramp and just go. Oh, Phoenix, run boys, run. He's trying to rebuild probes. I can't, forget what I know about StarCraft. This game is silly. This match is silly. This best of 3 is silly. I love it though. I don't even know who these guys go on to fight. Man, I was really expecting Damaja to tie this up, but yikes for me, man. Damaja has got such little money. He's not making a 40 Hydra supply anytime soon. I'm so frustrated. Even the stasis traps on the other side of the field to stop. Oh man. People are saying the volume's fine. All right, see, that's why I go for feedback. I could have been like, oh my god, I'll adjust it, but everyone likes it, so we'll leave it as is. Yeah, there's that stasis trap back at home. Catches the Hydras, of course. Easy cleanup from there. I think Damaga's lost. I hate to say it. I think Damaga's lost. Kudos to Goblin, but I don't think Goblin... Honestly, I really do not believe in my bones Goblin should have won game 1 or game 2. But GG's getting called. See you later, Damaja. Goblin will advance on here in the winner's bracket. But that's another point with driving home. It is the winner's bracket. There's actually still a loser's bracket. It is double elimination. Top 4 get through, etc., etc. So we'll go find us another match. I'm gonna play some break time though while we get to it. So thank you guys for watching as we try and find somebody in this mismangled bracket. We'll see you in a bit.